Hi, this is DL with dlcsgo.com and the Tranquil Living Tribe. I want to tell you about the Tribe. It's a yoga subscription site that includes a lot more than yoga. You get exclusive video content and yoga sessions like this one. You get access to meditation and voice work videos and instruction and MP3s because I offer a lot of different courses for free in various well-being topics. This is about tranquil living. So check it out, and you can try it for free, but only for a limited time. You also receive discounts to either live classes here in the studio, online classes, or private sessions with me, and it's a pretty steep discount. So please check it out. There's more information on the website, dlcsgo.com. Also, I appreciate you helping me build this channel here on YouTube. So be sure to like and subscribe, even share this video with someone you know may benefit. And I love to have your comments. I know my yoga is a little different, so I'd love to hear from those of you who are benefiting as much as I do. All right, let's get on with today's practice. This day I have for you a heavy body practice. That means getting in touch with the weight of the body, especially the bones, so we can feel grounded and supported by not only our structure, but our connection to the earth. So we're going to start standing today. I'm going to move back to the mat. Please join me. So we'll be starting in mountain pose. So find a comfortable distance apart for your feet. Now, some of you might like to stand with the feet together, stitched together. And that might actually help you feel your center line and pull up through it. So feel free to do that if you want. However, we are going to be slightly shifting our weight, and therefore it might be a little easier to have the feet some distance apart, not too wide. And then just begin by feeling through the surface of the toes, even the little under surface where the toes connect to the foot. The balls of the feet. You might even feel as though your ankles are moving outward and away from each other and then back. And just kind of get a sense of how your foot is relating to the ground as that happens, as you pronate. That's what it is, pronation. As you pronate outward. Now let's be aware of what's happening through the knees as we do this, because we don't want to lock the knees at any point. We want the knees to come along for the ride and be nice and supple. So keep a slight bend in your knees. And then also feel what's happening through the hips. Can you feel the head of the femur in the hip socket and how that relates as the lower foot moves? We're going to start to shift weight from left and then to right. And you can close your eyes here and just feel the heaviness of the leg you're moving toward and how the other leg becomes a little lighter and then back and forth. Notice how there are different places on the foot which you can focus upon and press or bear more weight upon. And that's going to change your sensation as well. So if you shift your weight to the ball of your foot, then your heel feels a little lighter, a little more responsive and able to react. If you bring your weight to your heel, that's going to change as well, all the way up the line of the back body and maybe even the front body. So you might notice if you press towards the heel that perhaps your back starts to move. Maybe the curve comes out of your lumbar spine. Okay, and many of us do tend to put our weight on our heels, and that does change our posture. So just be aware of that and explore, discover whatever you discover. And as you do so, just breathe softly and enjoy that sensation of weight shifting. And allow the body to respond if you have a sigh or a deeper breath. The more we get in touch with the heavy body, the more it tends to release some of its tension and holding. It can even be helpful if you're aware of the skeletal structure of the body to kind of visualize the bones moving. The other thing I sometimes like to have people visualize is if they're having trouble getting in touch with that feeling of heaviness and rootedness, that they can start to fill their bodies up with water from the feet up to the waist. So imagine that there is a hose or something that's pouring water into your foot, and as your foot fills with water, it becomes nice and heavy and weighted, just like a sponge becomes heavier when it's full of water. And allow that water to move up to the ankles, up the calves and shins. Notice how like parts of the upper body seem to release when you get in touch with the heavier body below. Up the knees and thighs. Notice how and if the sacrum lower back area there responds with that sense of rooting downward. Good, right up to the waist now. 2 liquid sacs, the left and the right. And then you can stop your sway. Don't come to an abrupt stop. Just let it become smaller and smaller until you come into a neutral stance again in mountain. Feel the lightness of the upper body over those 2 heavy trunks. From here, we're going to place the hands on the thighs somewhere, as long as it's above the knee. And we're going to do cat-cow here. So I'm going to turn slightly so you are better able to see. Find a part of your spine that can initiate the movement. So for some, maybe the chest will want to come through first. And then the chest moves back and everything ripples accordingly. Or if you start with the lower back and the lower back moves you into the arch, maybe even you feel a little shifting of weight on your heels, then allow the arch or the lower back to initiate the movement in the other direction. So what I want you to feel is that chain response through the spine. And you can explore here, and if it's hard to find or connect into that one part of the spine that's initiating, try a different spot, might come easier. So I'm kind of going in between my chest and my tail. And now I'm just going to anchor into my tail and let my tail lead, and the chest will follow. So the tail initiates for me, and then everything else moves along with that. Now I notice that my tendency is to drop my weight in my heels. So I'm going to bring my weight a little more into the balls of my feet. That, as a result of that, I feel more strength in my legs. I feel a little bit of oppositional force moving outward through the legs, and everything engages here to support my back. The other thing that I want to remember, of course, is to use my core here to really engage and allow that tissue to come inward towards the spine and then pour upward towards the rib cage. So there's a lot of coordination to this, what seems like a relatively simple movement. You can change now if you want to focus more on bringing the mid-spine through, or perhaps the chest if you were working with the tail, then feel free to switch. Or just simply explore organically. Maybe now that there's a little more freedom and awakeness through the spine, you can just kind of explore variations of movement. Now this should take some effort through the legs. We don't want to hang off the spine or put the burden on the spine to hold the body here. The burden is, and it's not a burden for the legs are strong. So use your legs to help support your back and of course your core. Okay, good. Let your head come along. Start to get that in the act if it hasn't been. And also connect your breath. So we exhale commonly as we arch the back. And inhale as we bring the chest through. And if you're doing more organic movement, that's fine. Just kind of connect the breath however it connects. And then let's come all the way back up to standing. Good. Hopefully feeling some freedom now through the spine, a little more awakeness in all that tiny little connective tissues along the vertebrae. All right, so let's stand again in mountain facing front, if you weren't. We are going to start to rotate at the wrists and bring the arms upward overhead. So just take your time, go at your own pace. We are inhaling as the arms come up. You can take an extra breath wherever you might need to, and then reach the arms slightly behind the body, opening the chest, and then exhale. We're going to come down the same way, rotating the arms. And then we're going to bring the palms back into the space behind us. Press into that space as we open the chest. Slightly move the whole pelvic region forward. And then release. And we'll repeat that. Okay? So again, go at your own pace. You want to focus on the inhale as you rise. And take an extra breath if you need to. And then release. Start to exhale, bringing the arms down. Again, taking an extra breath wherever you might need. And then with an inhale, opening the chest, moving the palms or the back palms away from the body, behind you. Opening that chest. Good. And one more time. So you can rest for a moment and then begin to inhale and lift the arms overhead. Reaching behind you slightly, maybe a little arch in the back. Weight shifting towards the balls of the feet as the hips come slightly forward. And then release. Palms opening. Back of hand pressing into space behind you. Chest opening. Weight on the balls of the feet. Open the chest. Good. And release. All right, so let's come on down to the floor. We'll be on our backs in constructive rest to start. After that lovely warm-up. Okay. So remember that the distance that your feet are from your bottom is going to impact how you feel here. So explore. A good place to rest your feet is if you bring up your knee right over your hip and have your leg perpendicular, and then just place it down from there. That's a really good place. Or you might find, having them a little closer or further is good for you. So just rest here. Allow your body to arrive on the floor in all its heavy glory. Nothing to do but be. Allow the body time to respond to being on the ground, to being supported by the floor, and let all those regularly contracted muscles that hold us up, give them time and space to unkink. Feel the parts of the body that are pressing into the ground. Notice any parts that might want to lift away or that have a natural curve, the back of the neck, the lower back, the arch of the feet, behind the wrists. So we were standing doing cat-cow a moment ago. We're going to bring that into the supine position. So you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe in, you're going to tilt your pelvis downward away from your head towards your feet, and the back will arch away from the ground. So breathing in, and then come back. And as you shorten the front of the body, feel the pelvis tip towards the head. There's a contraction through the front of the body. The chest pulls in towards the rib cage towards the belly. And release. Let's do that again. So we're going to tip towards the feet on the inhale. And exhale as we bring everything shortening through the front, tipping pelvis upward. And repeat at your own pace. We're going to add an element here. So as you inhale, you tilt your pelvis towards your feet. This time when you exhale, you'll lift your feet from the ground and bring your knees in towards your chest. And then replace on the exhale, or inhale rather. So inhale, tilt pelvis, downward. Exhale, lift feet, Bring everything in. Good. And replace. Going to do that again. Tilting pelvis downward. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the knees into the chest. Now this time to inhale, we're going to bring the arms overhead. And then replace. So inhale, tilt down with the pelvis. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, arms up. Now exhale, extend arms and hands into space. Core in. Feel how that core anchors you. And release. Good. Now I'd like you to do that several times at your own pace. So to review, it's inhale, tilt pelvis down. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, arms overhead. Feel the emptying of the belly upward, all that tissue moving in towards the heart. And then exhale and limbs extend, hovering above the ground, core engaged and supporting. And then release to the ground. Go ahead and repeat that at your own pace. Take your time. Good. Repeat one more time on your own. When you're in this position and holding through the core, go ahead and hold. It's almost like your entire body is rounding around a beach ball, or this, maybe it's not a beach ball, maybe it's a bowling ball, something really big and heavy that's weighing down the mid-region of the body that the arms and legs are kind of wrapping around. And release. Good work. Let the body release all its contractions. Again, find that heaviness through the whole body. Let's extend both legs and take a little break here. All right, so we're going to bend one knee and bring it in, planting ourselves on that foot. So more towards the ball of the foot than the heel. So you might have to tuck that foot a little closer, bring the heel a little closer to the buttocks. If the foot is too far away, you won't have the same leverage that you're going to want for what we're about to do. But if it's too close, then you might not have enough range. So somewhere comfortable, you might adjust as you go. What we're going to do is we're going to stay very heavy on the long side of the body. And we're simply going to push into the ground, into the foot that's standing. Now notice that as you push in, that same hip with the bent leg wants to come off the ground. Let it. Continue to grow the movement as you inhale. So your back might even come off the ground, peeling away and arching itself And then you're rolling towards the long side. The head might come along, continuing to press in with the foot. Just the trick is to really be heavy on that long side. And then roll back. Stay heavy. You're connected to the ground the whole time. This isn't about picking yourself up. It's about responding to the connection of the ball of the foot through the earth as you press. Good. So just continue to loll. Notice how that back arm might respond. It might want to move away from the body. Breathe into the tight spaces as that half of the body arches. Breathe into the length of the grounded side and release. Good. Rest. And then one more time at your own pace. Press in. Notice that if that knee starts to move away or inward, that's going to change and maybe loosen or lessen the effect. So just play with that as well. We want to try to keep that knee straight up. And let the heavy body roll back. Good job. Extend that leg in your time when you're ready. Feel free here to do any kind of stretch in between, and then we'll go to the other side. So bringing that foot to standing somewhere where you have good purchase. Take a moment to arrive in this rooted position. Now, give that long side a chance to release. That might mean that the hips shift a little. It might mean something lets go. Let that happen. Don't anticipate the movement. Once you feel relaxed, soft, then just begin by pressing in with the ball of the foot, the standing foot. And let it be small first. Don't go all the way into it. Feel each part happen. Feel the chain of motion. The foot plugs in. The thigh starts to get a little longer. The knee feels like it's moving away. Then the hip starts to lift. The body starts to roll to the long side. The bend in the arch starts. The bend of the back. Then it pours perhaps into that shoulder. There's a little weight as the head rolls. That back arm might start to want to either press in or away from the body. Good, and then release back, roll back. Don't just plunk back. Roll back. Feel the heaviness of the body. We'll do this 2 more times at your own pace. Notice if you can link the breath, inhaling as you press in. And maybe holding there for a breath or 2, feeling how the breath can move into the tight spots, into the lengthening spots. Releasing everything back at your own time. Can even kind of rock a little if anything feels like it needs to let go. And then one last time when you're ready, pressing in and just following that press, the impression. And then once again, when you release, you can take any kind of stretch or movement you require. A little bit of rocking for me, I think. Okay, so staying in that heavy body, we're going to roll the body to one side and then come onto the belly. So let your heavy body arrive here in this position. Feel the watery weightiness of your thighs as you roll back and forth, side to side on the thighs. Feel the belly pressing into the ground with each breath. Feel the ribs moving towards the ground. Feel the heart opening towards the ground. You might have the toes curled and the heels reaching back, or you might have the feet flat, the head supported in any way that's comfortable for you on your hands. Now we're going to come into what I consider to be lizard pose. It's so we're going to slide the knee up towards the elbow, so it doesn't matter which side. So we're going to shorten one side of the body. So it's not that I bend my leg up. Rather, the knee moves and slides away from the body and then up towards the elbow or shoulder. And then that elbow is going to come towards that knee. So we're short on this side. We're long in the back. Just rest here, breathe. Let all that tension that collects around the lower back release. Nothing to do. Just rest. Soften. See if you can find that place where the body finally surrenders and lets go. So good. It is optional here to start to come up to your forearms and to look back towards your heel. My nose is running. So you might feel here a little more length through the long side of the body, particularly through the core. And then rest. And we'll go to the other side. So actually, I'm going to turn onto the other side so I'm still facing you. Oh, I just need to adjust here. Let my body come back together. Okay. So we start just by bringing one knee out to the side of the body, sliding on the floor nice and heavy. Stay connected to the heaviness rather than, trying to lift that knee into place. And then meeting it with that elbow. So now we're long on the back side, short on the front side. Feel the difference. That other arm can be wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to extend it up. Breathe and allow the softening. Now I feel on this side of my body that this is enough for me. If you came to your forearms on the other side, you may or may not want to do that on this side, and so honor that. But if you feel you do, then just come up to your forearms as you did before, and you're just going to look back towards your bottom or your bent leg. Wonderful. Now we're going to transition onto our backs for Shavasana. So depending on where your back arm is, you might be able to simply pull it in, roll your head over it, and come onto your back. Or you might need to bring it around to your side and then roll onto your back. So whichever works for you, tucking your knees in. And feel free if you need something under your knees or under your head, such as a blanket or bolster, to make yourself as comfortable as possible. And coming down onto your back, and we shall rest here heavy. Just noticing any sensations running through the body as a result of everything we've done. If the mind starts to think about what comes next, what you have to do today, or a long list of worries or concerns, just let those thoughts float on by and bring your awareness back to the body, to the breath, to the senses. That's what's real in this moment. So to come out, just begin to move fingers and toes. Compress different parts of your body into the ground just to feel the heaviness and the tension of muscle around bone, and then release. Bring my knees into my chest. You're welcome to join me in that. Maybe rocking along the lower back. falling onto your side into a nice fetal position. Stay heavy in your body as you lift with your top arm and top leg. Stay heavy through the lower body. Let the head come up last. Good job. Oh, feels so good. Sitting in a comfortable position for you to close. We'll just take a moment in meditation with the hands, thumb and finger, forefinger together. Feel the stillness and the peace that's all around you, in every cell. Feel the gratitude of your body. For all the love and care you've given it in our session today. Deep breath. Let's rub the hands together. And let's tune out. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Breathing in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace. Have a great day.